Well, there are several styles of budgeting. Everybody needs to think about just stepping back with the cost of living increases so much, so drastically. We need to sit down with the family and determine what budget is right for you. But more importantly, everyone in the household needs to understand the worth of money. And that's why identifying a budget and the areas where you spend money and you don't spend money is essential. And keep in mind, a successful budget is a result of compromise.
It's rising cost of living. It's difficult on everyone, but especially for retirees.
It is. Here's why. The cost of living, Social Security cost of living adjustment was only at 1.3%. Yet many of the seniors, the costs that the seniors are facing, their costs are rising much more quickly. For example, March 2020 to March 2021, the fastest rise in cost was for car rentals. They were up 31.2%. Gasoline, they jumped up dramatically, 22%. Heating oil, 20%, let alone food costs, from beef costs that were up 11.2% to the cost of apples rising 7.4%. There's never been a better time to just start from scratch with your household budget to stay on top of your finances and find a budget that works best for you and commit to it.
And you mentioned there are different types of budgeting. What's a traditional budget?
Well, the traditional budget is the one that you probably all are more familiar with. It takes a little bit of work, but it can really help you track your spending. First, make a list that breaks down all of your income and then all of your expenses. Create a simple monthly budget worksheet that allows you to see your income and your expenses and how they stack up against each other. The pros of the traditional budgeting, it's a great way to put your income and your expenses under a magnifying glass and help you rein in your spending.
Talk to me about the 50-20-30 budget.
Also referred to as the proportional budgeting. This is when you commit 50% of your income to all necessities, rent, food, utilities. Then take 20% of your budget and pay all your financial obligations like your debt. And here's where you can prioritize getting out of debt and putting some away for retirement. The final 30% is for non-essentials like shopping, traveling, or dining out. The pros of this method, it's easy to use, and it gives you an opportunity to put some money away for some fun stuff.
How does reverse budgeting work?
This is a technique that prioritizes debt repayment and your savings goals above everything else. With this method, you focus on one big goal each month. You accomplish your goal for the month, and then you use the remainder of the money to cover all of your other expenses. This is the simplest budgeting method since you don't spend much time tracking your spending. Although it's rewarding to accomplish one goal each month, it doesn't provide much visibility in your spending. So the pros for this are you're actually focusing in on paying off your debt, but it only works if you're disciplined and you don't create new debt.
All right, we've got another one on the list here, and it's value-based budgeting. Walk me through that one.
Well, some people will really gravitate towards this style, but this style helps you save for the things that matter most to you in your life. Make a list of what matters the most to you, then each month, pay your monthly bills and your living expenses first. Then put your disposable income towards things that matter to you. For example, let's say you have $800 left over at the end of the month. You may put $500 down towards a future home and $300 down towards a vacation. The pros of this, it works well if you want to focus in on what matters most to you. However, it's easy, very easy to overlook far off goals like retirement savings.
We talked about retirees and how this impacts them, but one thing we saw this year too was a lot of first-time home buyers. You recommend that these first-time home buyers really pick one of these budgets and stick to it.
Absolutely. There were 2.38 million Americans who became first-time home buyers in 2020. As exciting as this new transition is for these new homeowners, the financial side of this, owning their new place or their own place, isn't always as much as a thrill. In fact, living expenses could increase by 75% for a lot of these homeowners. That means new homeowners need to seriously adjust parts of their spending to sustain the extra costs and make that move less overwhelming.